Hi, my name is Kelly Cheatham. I'm a digital learning specialist for Fort Worth ISD. This video is part of a series of videos about how to facilitate student conversation and student collaboration in the virtual teaching environment. This particular video is going to talk about a way to conduct breakout rooms within your Google Meet. So the first thing I've done is I have opened up my whole class Google Meet. And so at this point in time, I would be facilitating my whole class directions. In the background or before doing this, I've gone ahead and I've set up a Google Slides presentation. And in here, I've kind of broken out my 4 groups. I have decided upon a meeting code for each group. And then I have assigned students to each group. So I'd put the student names here. I also have given them a workspace. So you'll notice that each group has a slide that they'll be working on. And this helps me as the teacher to kind of track student progress so I know which groups I'll need to check in on. So you might even set up these workspaces with a particular template you'd like them to fill out or preload some of the information on here for them. But having them all in one place will help you as you are facilitating the 4 different groups that are going on at the same time. So again, I set up my groups to begin with. I decided upon which students are going to go into each group, and I've just decided upon the meeting code for each group as well. My next step before I conduct these breakouts is to make sure that I have the necessary extensions installed. So one of the things to know is that when you open multiple Meet tabs, you're going to hear all of the students in each Meet tab talking at once. Now, there is no way within the browser itself to mute just a single Meet tab. When you mute one of them, it's going to mute all of them. So instead of doing it through the browser, we're actually going to install an extension that will allow us to do that. This extension is called Mute Tab. And so you can find it just by Googling Mute Tab extension, and you'll notice that it will pop up as your first option here. So you want to start by installing this and having that ready to go in your extensions. Now mine is actually in my little extensions bar here. If yours doesn't pop up with a little icon right within the bar, it might be hidden within the puzzle piece. If you click on the puzzle piece, you'll see all of your extensions. And then if you want it to show up on that bar, you'll just want to make sure you pinned it. So I'm going to find that here's the Mute tab. You'll notice that I have clicked on the little pin button. Okay, so now I'm all set up. Like I said, we are now in our whole class Google Meet, and we're getting ready to break out into those rooms. So I would want to give instructions to my students. I might go ahead and present this screen to them so that they can go ahead and see which students are in which group. I might even also want to post this on Google Classroom. And you'll want to give them editing rights to the whole presentation if you're going to use the following slides for students to collaborate on. So assigning this in Google Classroom, displaying this and discussing as you're giving directions, and then reminding them of the Meet code. So now on my end, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the 4 breakout rooms just by starting those 4 meets using the nicknames that I've assigned. So here I'm going to go Cheatham 1. Oh, actually it was Cheatham Group 1. I'll try that again. So here we go, it's Cheatham G1. Okay, and I'll have that open. You want to make sure you've completely joined the meet, otherwise your students will not be able to join. Okay, I'm going to go to the next new tab and I'm going to follow those same steps. Okay, there we go. Here's group 2. And I'll follow these steps to get all 4 groups open. So in the end, I'll have 5 Meet tabs, 1 for my whole class and 1 for each group. All right, so now I have joined all 4 of the breakout room meets. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I am muted, and I'm also going to turn my camera off in all of them. That way they're not hearing the conversations that you're having with other groups. And then I will also want to use that mute tab extension for each of the breakout rooms. And so to use that extension, now that it's installed, I'll just make sure I'm on the tab I want to mute, and I'll just click on that mute tab button, and you'll notice that it'll give it a little M. When I move to the next one, I'll click on that little button again, and you'll see the little M, and I'll just do that for all 4 of my breakouts. Okay, so now I'm ready. I can go ahead and give my students instructions to join. And while they are joining, a helpful hint, to be able to see all 4 at once, we can go ahead and kind of split our screen a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag this particular group, Meet tab, and I'm just going to drag it down so it separates it from that particular Chrome window. So I'm going to click the tab and drag and release, and now it's its own window. And now I'm just going to click anywhere up here and just drag it down a little bit so it's not full screen anymore. And I can go ahead and just kind of move that. I'm going to put that one in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to do the same thing for the next screen. So here's my next meet. I'm going to pull it down and release. And now I'm just going to, again, pull from anywhere up in that top bar down so it's no longer full screen. And I'll have that one fill my top left. And then I'll keep doing that for my last 2. So I'm going to pull down this one and pull and put it in my top right. And then I'm going to do it to my last one here. Drag down, release, pull it down again so it's not full screen, and I'm going to put that in the bottom left here, or bottom right corner. So now, once this one is all said and done, I can go ahead and just minimize this window and I'll see all 4 at once. It's not a perfect view. You'll notice that it's kind of hard to see what's going on in there. But if you're dealing with one screen and you really want to see all 4 at once, you can do that. You can also keep them all together in one Chrome window and just navigate from tab to tab. So it's kind of whatever you prefer there. Here's the cool thing though, because we created, in fact, I'm going to pull this one up. Because we created our breakout groups slides, I can be watching what they're doing on the slides themselves as they are working. And the easiest way to do this, especially if you have more than 4 groups, is to actually change your view in Google Slides. At the very bottom of your deck here, you'll see that we have some different view options. If I click on the one that looks like the tiled option, you'll notice that now I can see them all at once. And as students are adding to slides 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'll be able to kind of see those changes live. So that's an awesome kind of view to have. And so I can have that if I wanted to. I can even have this side by side with my Meet window here. And so I'm kind of seeing, here's their work. Oh, I need to go check on group 4 here. So I can go ahead and open up group 4's Meet tab. So that's kind of a way to navigate those breakout rooms. Again, kind of a recap. You want to set up your groups ahead of time. I like to make them in slides here. You'll want to assign each group a meeting code and obviously the students within the group. You'll want to open up all of those meets, get yourself muted, and I would turn off my camera in all of them as well. And then you'll want to make sure you have the mute tab extension installed. Once you have that all ready to go, you're ready to actually use that breakout room kind of method with your class. And so you can go ahead and share that group information with your students and have them join those individual meets. I'm going to leave it at that for this particular video. In future videos, we'll talk more about student collaboration and discussion using different tech tools. If you have any questions about this particular process, you can reach out to me or to your digital learning specialist.